Sendil, is Saurabh Dubey already here? Sendil? Mr. Fraser, I will
yes.
log off and log in with my Quadra ID. Please hold on, all right? Huh?
Okay, sure.
I'll come in immediately.
Yeah. If possible, just try and see if you can also rename because we're getting.
I'm trying to find out if there is a place to rename. I would be very, very happy.
Yeah. Because we're getting a name Gospel B against your.
Correct.
So,
but can somebody help? Is there a way where I can change the display name?
Not sure.
Or I'll have to sign out and come in. I'll sign out and come in.
Perhaps you could try and do that. We have still another 10 odd minutes to go. Yeah. Okay, I think we have Mr. Saurabh Dubey with us. Good morning, Mr. Dubey.
Hey, hi, good morning, folks.
Hi. Could we quickly do an audio-video check, Mr. Dubey?
Sure.
Okay, it looks good. Thank you. Yeah, welcome back, Mr. Augustus. We have your name changed now. Yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tarun. So, is it my name is not appearing correctly or what?
No. Yours is okay. Mr. Vij. That's okay. Can you hear us, Mr. Tarun Vij? Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I can.
Mr. Augustus, I haven't heard your voice since you rejoined. Just to reconfirm, we have your audio.
Yeah, Fraser, I've joined and thanks for the cue that you're able to see me and you're able to hear.
Lovely. Thanks.
Hello, Saurabh Dubey. How are you?
I'm good, right, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today's virtual conference. My name is Frazier Martins, and I'm your host for today. In the current landscape, merely being able to keep IT costs under control is not enough. Businesses need to be able to do more with less and squeeze every possible ounce out of their infrastructure. Thankfully, cloud-based platforms offer the perfect foundation for effective infrastructure modernization strategies and promise superior outcomes without the burden of higher IT costs. With this context, Dun & Bradstreet, in association with Google Cloud and Quadra, is glad to present this virtual conference on the pertinent topic, exploring cost-effective strategies for data center modernization. Now, before we begin, I request everyone to please take a moment and go through the guidelines that have been displayed on your screens. We encourage you to ask more questions in the session. We request you to please type your queries in the Ask Questions section. These will be taken up in the Q&A session later. A couple of tips: we want to know you more, hence please mention your name and company name when you post your question. You can also mention the person you are directing your question to. Now, as you can see on your screens, there is an Ask Questions section in the bottom of your screen that will help you converse better with the speakers. Now, today's session is not only about discussions. You have a chance to win exciting Zozo Day e-vouchers by participating in an engaging quiz that we have lined up. You need to earn a minimum of 50 cloud miles to be eligible for vouchers, the top 10 scorers to be getting Zozo e-vouchers. Now, you can earn cloud miles via the following activities. First, a quiz. We will be running the quiz on Mentimeter. It is recommended that you use two separate devices like a laptop, desktop, tablet, or mobile to join the webinar and participate in the quiz for a better experience. Secondly, asking better relevant questions during the webinar will earn you 15 cloud miles for each relevant question. And sharing your views and comments on the topics being discussed will also earn you 15 cloud miles for each relevant comment. Now, let's take a quick look at the flow for today's session, and for that, please refer to the agenda displayed on your screens right now. Clearly a promising agenda with an eminent lineup of speakers. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome and thank everyone for being part of this virtual session today. Let's kickstart then with the opening speaker of the day. I would like to invite Mr. Bright Augustus, Lead Digital Transformation at quadrasystems.net India Private Limited, to share his insights with us. Welcome, Mr. Augustus. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. It's my pleasure to join this esteemed company and present my company, Quadra Systems, to all of you people. I'm going to share my screen with all of you. Please hold on for a moment. And Mr. Frazier, just acknowledge if you're able to see my screen.
Certainly. Yes, we can see your screen, Mr. Augustus. Please go ahead.
No. Okay, thank you for that acknowledgement. My name is Bright, and I am from Quadra Systems. I've been with Quadra Systems for more than 15 years now. And I am the lead for the digital transformation group at Quadra. We've been in this digital transformation work for nearly a decade now. When cloud came into being and it was available commercially, we were one of the firsts to jump into the bandwagon and help many businesses and academic institutions too join the cloud so that they can benefit from the wonderful things that cloud brings to every organization. So, in fact, we were chosen as a cloud accelerate partner by one of the leading cloud service providers today. And we took this wonderful cloud technology to hundreds of customers, even in the first year of we being chosen as a Cloud Accelerate partner. We have taken lakhs of people to the cloud as end users. So we are here to help you understand how you can choose Quadra as your partner when you're talking about the Google Cloud and how you're going to modernize your data center with the Google Cloud. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move my screen and I'll try to be as precise and brief as possible. Always, it is the customer who comes first when we talk about Quadra. We always put ourselves in the shoes of the customer to find out what their needs are. And so we are here to understand what the technology needs our customers are so that we will be able to tailor make the solutions for them. And because Google is a leading solution provider on the cloud today, we have partnered with Google in order that we will be able to bring to you the best of the breed of solutions that are available today. In any case, we have, though, partnered with a lot of leading OEMs and technology service providers today. We are always technology neutral. We are vendor agnostic, which means we don't push a particular vendor's product just because they are well known to us or we are long time partners with them or it is bringing us a bigger margin or bottom line. No, we want to meet the need of the customers always. It's always the business needs that we are focused on so that we will be able to provide the best solution for their business challenges. So it's always the customer who comes first when we talk about Quadra. Also, we want to become trusted partners. It's not just a transaction partner that Quadra wants to be with you. Not just coming to you, selling something and getting away with it. No, we want to remain with you always. As from the very moment you join us and the very moment we join you as your partner, we want to be with you always. And this is one single message that I want to bring to you today. My whole presentation is going to be focused on this one single point, that you need a trusted partner when you are trying to test unknown waters or when you're going to launch into the journey of digital transformation. Digital transformation is not a destiny. No, you have to move and improve along the way. And if you have got a real good partner to handhold you throughout the journey, it's nothing like it. So we are here to present ourselves as a knowledge superior partner with all skills that we have been gaining over the past 21 years we have been in business, and the commitment that we have been showing to every engagement with our customers. We want to become your trusted partners. We have a proven track record of 17 years of global awards. Even this year, one of the leading global OEMs, technology service providers, cloud service providers, they recognized us with awards on the global stage. That speaks louder than anything else. So we want you to trust us and come to us because the knowledge and the experience that we have gained all these years, we can bring it to you so that we can meet your business needs and challenges. The right kind of solution for the right kind of challenge that you're facing. Again, we know that technology is somewhere, while the business that needs this technology is somewhere else. And you need a real good bridge between that cutting edge technology that is already there and the need that you are in. We want to come between you and the technology that you need, so that we will become a bridge and help you capitalize on the experiences that we have gained with the technology edge that the OEMs have, so that we can meet your requirements very well, right at the same point. We have 75 plus recognitions, 200 plus case studies we have posted in our OEM's pages, open sources, and even in our web pages. Please visit quadrasystems.net. You will be able to see a number of such case studies talking about how we have been suggesting the best kind of solution to our customers. 750 plus certifications by our technical and sales team members. And we are only gaining more and more such experiences with our customers and engagement with our customers. 3,000 plus customers all these years. So that itself tells you why you should choose Quadra as your go-to partner for the cloud. Talking about modernization, migration and modernization is necessary today, but it is intimidating. There is a lot of people are launching into a place where they really don't know much of it. If you have already launched into cloud, I believe most of you are, but there are still some people who are still testing the waters. Then we are there to help them, because going into an unknown territory, you need a real good guide in order that you will not fall, you will not go away, stray away from your path. It is a macro challenge. So all you need is the right kind of people to back you, the right kind of service provider, and the right kind of partner to help you decide what to take to the cloud, when, and at what pace, and what can follow. You need a roadmap to be created, and we are here to help you. It is complex, it will take time, and because you already have invested crores of rupees probably in building your own on-premises data center and infrastructure, your management might hesitate to now think on the cloud terms. Why would we have to move to the cloud? Because we have already invested. But again, as IT people, you know that survival and leadership all are determined by how well you're going to make the cloud your advantage. So, because IT people know it, and because the business people, the other functional heads, do not really know it, it is a big challenge. But we are here to help you, because we can talk to your people, we can convince them, helping them to understand that if they don't move to the cloud, they are not making the right kind of moves, and they are not making the best decision there. They need the cloud if they want to survive. Yes, because competition is brewing somewhere in a corner where you don't expect them to come and become a big competitor for you. Thinking about small banks, all right, payment banks only. Those banks, Paytm and all of those, they have now become a big competition for big banks today. Ola and Uber have become big competitions for car manufacturers. All of these are unexpected competitions from niche corners. And that is why we need to now become more open-eyed, and we must be very, very careful enough not to allow even small businesses to come and impact our bottom line. Digital transformation as a service is a service package that is available to you from Quadra, where we have designed this complete package for people who are looking at how they can move from a traditional enterprise into a digitally transformed intelligent enterprise. All decisions now being made with information at hand, not guesswork, not depending on experiences. Yes, experiences are very, very valuable. But today, black and white numbers speak louder. So you need data. You need the right kind of information to make decisions. If your organization can make decisions really well with the help of information that is available to you, it's nothing like it. You need that. We are here to help you transform your traditional enterprise into an intelligent enterprise where decision makers are enabled with information enough that they can make the best decision ever for all your business goals. Starting from this elusive digital transformation goal, no clearly defined path and no clearly defined endpoint. Right? We can take you through the journey. We can help you to move away from discrete technology deployments to a seamless transition. Think about this. McKinsey Global Survey talks about 80% of the respondents reporting that their organization had already begun the DD journey. All right. But then 14% mentioned their efforts have made and sustained performance environment. All right. But 3% reported complete success. 97. What happened to that? That's a big number. They are still wondering how they can make the most of the cloud. Think about it. The cloud is very, very effective when it comes to the financial strategy for a company. When you're going to invest a lot of money in acquiring assets for your company in your data center, it is going to reflect in your balance sheet. But when you're talking about cloud, you're going to talk about expenses. This becomes an operational expense rather than a capex. And your CFO will allow to spend money as an OPEX rather than investing money as a capital expenditure. Talk about this. An example has been taken here. 1,000 VMs, 120 hosts, 500 cores, 12 TB RAM. There is a comparison, all right? 20% less annual cost versus on-premises. So it's not just the data center, it's also about the disaster recovery center that you need to invest again. The same or a little less than that, probably. In another place, in order that you can rest assured that your people will always have high availability and access to data all the time. But when you move to the cloud, it is always cost effective. The total cost of ownership of the cloud technology and the infrastructure, all right, goes down and down and down over the years in order that you will be able to see the benefit financially. Quadra as your GCP partner. We are Google Advantage partners, and we have been in this business for a long, long time. Cloud infrastructure, cloud platform. We can make your business smarter. We can transform your business and your IT setup completely. Yet, you can stay adaptable. You can better connect with people. This we saw in the last 2 years when we were all locked out inside our homes. And we needed this. This was essential. And it might be needed for more years to come. Giving people freedom enough to work from anywhere, anytime, and anywhere. Anywhere, anytime, any device. Yes, work where you are. The digital choice, all right, of your devices and the place that you want to work from. At the time you want to access data. And again, in a very, very safe environment, you can protect your business. All right. Identity, protecting the identity of people, protecting the data of your company. And then you can grow with confidence because cloud provides you ample space to run your applications, to store your data, access your data from anywhere, and stay confident that nobody else can encroach into your business and your business data. This is a heavy slide, but then this is something that I told you I want to focus on today. Leave it to us. It is our job when you're talking about moving to the cloud. We have in-depth product knowledge, deep expertise. We have dedicated technical teams. And then there is a single point of contact you need to always connect with. That's all. We dedicate a person and a team for you. A prospective guidance on cloud setup and a long-term relationship is something what we are always looking for. If you want access to GCP credits, come to us. We will try to find out as much as possible so that you will be able to try some of the things that Google Cloud brings to you. What do you want to do now? If you're already consuming the cloud, share with us your consumption report for the last 3 months. No, 3 years, 3 months. And we will be able to assess. Then you can schedule a cloud assessment discussion with us. We will migrate your workloads with zero downtime required. You can get peace of mind. All right. With the SLA escalation matrix that we can provide to you. Please come to us. We are here. Please note the number. It's murali.j@quadrasystems.net. Mr. Muralidharan. That one point of contact. And then 7338858 I'm very, very pleased that you have been very patient enough to look into my presentation. Thanks for taking your time. Now I am handing this over to Frazier. Thank you, Frazier, for the time that you gave me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Augustus. What an informative session that was. I'm sure all the participating audience had some key takeaways from your session. Thank you. We will now be moving on to the quiz. A few instructions to guide you. We would be running the quiz on menti.com, and the link with the login code is visible on your screens now. I would request everyone to quickly log in to www.menti.com and use the code 4253743. There it is, 4253743. Kindly stay on your browser once you sign in, and please log in with the same email ID with which you have registered for today's session, because that's how we will be able to recognize you. We will get some time to answer each question. So please go ahead and log in, and we're just going to check and hold on and give you a couple of minutes to get in there. Okay. Okay, there we see some of you already joining in. We've got 4, 5. Go ahead and quickly log in, everyone. And we should be starting that quiz anytime now. Once again, if you haven't yet, you've got to go to www.menti.com and use the code 4253743. 4253743. That's the code. Okay, we see a good number of you joining in already. That's good to see. Okay, I think we're ready to start the quiz. There we go. The first question. The first of the five. Remember, the faster you answer, the more points you get. Which of the following statements is true? That's the first question coming up. And there are your four options. 10 seconds to answer each question. The faster you answer, the better. Time's up. And option B, the operational cost, has got the highest. Question number 2 coming up. Dash enables batch processing, which significantly speeds up high processing applications. A, scalability, B, reliability, C, elasticity, or D, utility. Time's up on the second question. Elasticity being the highest, with 8 of you answering there. But the correct answer, scalability, of course, which 4 of you got. Moving on to question number 3. Which of the following mechanisms are contained by Cloud API for accessing cloud services? Abstraction, B, authentication, C, replication, or D, all of the mentioned. Time's up, and D, all of the mentioned, gets the highest vote, but the correct answer is B, authentication, which 5 of you got. Lovely. Question 4, which of the following is the most important area of concern in cloud computing? A, security, B, storage, C, scalability, D, all of the mentioned. At the end of time, D, all of the mentioned, it's got 10, but A, security is the correct answer, with 6 of you voted for. And here's your last question. Which of the following is a key mechanism for protecting data? A, access control, B, auditing, C, authentication, D, all of the mentioned. Three, two, 1, time's up, and the correct answer is D, all of the mentioned, which 12 of you voted for. Okay, lovely. Thank you everyone for participating in that quiz, and there you see the results being tabulated. And Simba 3933. 3,933 points. Simba, you're the winner. We will get in touch with you very soon. You will hear from us very shortly. Congratulations. Well done. That was our quiz. Thank you so much for your participation, everyone. All right, we're now moving on to the next speaker of the day. Mr. Saurabh Dubey, Partner Cloud Architect, Google Cloud, is here with us, and he's going to share his insights next. Welcome, Mr. Dubey. Over to you.
Hey, hi, Martin. Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible clear enough.
Yes, pretty much. Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. So thank you very much. Thanks for all your time for joining us today in this webinar. And thanks, Mr. Bright, for sharing such an insightful conversation about the industry as well as the capabilities of our one of our greatest partners, Quadra. So let me quickly share my screen so that I can present you some of the capabilities what Google Cloud can offer to our customers with the help of our partners to really work out the cost effectiveness in DC modernization as a concept or as an initiative. So let me quickly share my screen. I hope my screen is visible for you.
Yes, your screen is visible, Mr. Dubey. Please go ahead.
Great. So this is basically the talking point for this conversation for my segment as of now, that Data center modernization, and I think Mr. Bright have already set up in the context. So I'm not going to spend much time on calling out the priorities, but still going to touch base upon that. And the most important thing we have to remember, like, okay, although we are unlocking a value by saving cost by moving or modernizing our data centers, but we also need to reinvest that for future growth. We're not going to keep that in our bank, although yes, profits will be there, but definitely how we can just adapt and innovate much faster by adopting cloud is an overall journey. So with this, most of the CIOs know that there's a lot to be gained from their being into the cloud. And Mr. Bright has also shared some of the studies happening to the market. But whether it's reliability, agility, cost saving, security, or more, but still you'll be able to see agility being the top. How will they will be able to achieve that? Now, many of the organizations are already on the path of modernizing application, and we have also spoken to many CIOs. They acknowledge that migration to the cloud or adopting new application changes will significantly going to jumpstart their growth and accelerating their time to market. But still, 93% of the enterprise wanted to have a multi-cloud strategy, with most of the cloud providers are not able to support. And even that, out of that, 87% of them would like to have a hybrid cloud strategy. But many of the cloud providers are not having the solution, but Google Cloud has. Now, there are four dimensions of value creations for an enterprise. And this informs us that how exactly we're going to generate business value and cloud transformation. The first one being the cost reduction. And this is the one we see as the most often with the customers, a hard dollar benefit to be extracted from budgets and investments with specific cost reductions that must be seen as an investment bar. So we have all heard that executives who only wants to see this and nothing else. And I think this is why people can be intimidated by the business cases. It can be feel punitive that something has been taken away, right? A dollar saved might mean a dollar less than next year's budget. But our experience
It appears that we have lost Mr. Dubey temporarily.
realizes the benefits and they will be getting it out of that. But still, despite of all that appetite, 75% of the workloads are still not in the public cloud, and which is not great for them, right? So, but why is that? What is the reason for that? The reason is very simple, because of the challenges. And now I'm not going to read this verbatim, but a long story short, migrations can be complex and challenges can be plentiful, ranging from talent gaps, security, management, culture, whatever it is, right? That's a lot. But with the help of a cloud provider like Google Cloud and a partner like Quadra, you will be easily be able to overcome all those challenges and will adopt a smooth data center modernization journey with significant cost savings. Now that we agree that the complexities we are dealing with, like, okay, now let me share like how Google Cloud can engage and drives value quickly. The Google Cloud sees two primary patterns that customers want to have for their physical data center transformations. The first one is partial replacement, which generally offers enhanced capabilities to choose between OPEX and CAPEX spendings, or else the commonly used to provide disaster recovery, adopting new cloud native capabilities and all. The people who are taking this approach would definitely would like to reap out benefits as fast as possible. And they have already defined their strategies clearly how to adopt cloud and what to do that. But in a full migration approach, a full data center exit strategy will be the key and require every application and solution to be evaluated and eventually migrated to modernize to work on a cloud-based solution. Now, the benefits gained from partial replacements are extended to include new capabilities and solutions, but with full migration, the value they will be getting it out of that overall approach by adopting cloud is really significant. Now, our migration approach encompasses a familiar R strategy from Gartner, right? They will be choosing based on the workload, they will be choosing either to rehost, replatform, or refactor. And based on that, they will be different time, your own overall migration time and effort, and that's how they will be choosing it. Like, okay, but there is a trade-off between lowering the technical debt or increasing the cloud maturity, or lowering the technical debt will be valuable to the organizations in improving the TCO and overall time. So it is important that they will take an informed decision with the help of the cloud provider's expertise and experience of partners like Quadra. Now here, our overall approach is very, very simple. On the left-hand side, if you see of this page, our approach to achieving optimization through this three-layered cake is moved to improve the infrastructure from your data centers, leveraging the data analytics and application modernization to improve overall operations that reap out significant business benefits, and finally innovate that drives business transformation through new products, services, and business market for the customers like you. This slide will give you an overall glimpse. I'm not going to run it to end to end, but how to read this slide is very, very simple. Now, once you choose Google as a partner with you in your overall transformation journey, you will see like, okay, which path you would like to adopt, whether you would like to take an overall infrastructure modernization approach, or you would like to take an application-based approach, or you would like to have an innovative approach by adopting AI or artificial intelligence or machine learning or a data informed or an updated data insights view into your own organizations to make sure how exactly your overall journey should be towards the cloud. That this is the slide which will give you a clear picture how exactly you can approach that overall thought process. Now, with this here, you see, if you have a data center, ultimately, whatever approach you will take, it ultimately lies to a destination which Google Cloud is completely be able to support you. At Google Cloud, we have defined our paths forward for your IT assets, for your workloads, operating model, and everything. And looking at an overall DC modernization journey through the lens of an IT assets, these graphics represent the breadth of Google capabilities, starting from typical categorization, and each branch and leaf in this tree represent a potential technology product or services that Google can deliver to support landing those workloads of yours into the Google Cloud. Now, classic example, this is one of the examples of one of our offerings we call it a migration factory approach, which lies at the core of an overall migration program and executed through waves of, like, for example, discovery, assess, plan, migrate, and overall optimization. Now, these steps, while appearing linear, are iterative and will be executed in parallel through agile sprints across the different kind of workloads and streams. Cloud Center of Excellence, our partners are able to provide or overseeing overall business strategy and migration program management things. We're going to really smoothen your overall journey for a particular workload, what you have chosen to migrate to the cloud. Now, with this, let's imagine if you have your data center with a variety of workloads at the core of it, then whatever approach you will take it, either you would like to take a lift and shift kind of an approach, or you would like to move your data approach, or you would like to go for a managed services offering, whatever approach you would like to take in significant IT cost savings, you will be getting much more innovative and agile organization, which can be ready for the changes which market and the competitions are throwing at you, so that the services what we are able to offer you, for example, our bare metal services, our region extensions, our Oracle services for your significant key workloads, right? All those things, you will be able to do that and adopt cloud with a significant cost saving. Now, Stratazone, which is one of our solutions for an assessment of your IT footprint, which can optimize your environment by right-sizing machines. And all these recommendations or right-sizing capabilities are pre-built into our cloud platform. Customers need not to worry about whether they need to switch on or off a particular functionality to really gain those things, but it is out of the box being available because most of our services are AI/ML enabled. For example, a compute engine, right, where we are talking about right size recommendations. When you're running your VM into the cloud, automatically the recommendations you are getting from the Google Cloud perspective, so that a particular VM is not being used optimally. The utilization of that VM is significantly less as expected. So the platform will recommend you to reduce the overall VM size to save X dollar of the cost month by month over a period of time. And similar to that, there are n number of cost savings mechanisms are already available when you decide to migrate your workload into Google Cloud. And I'll discuss them in my further slides. Now, similar to that, the data first strategy, right? As you can see, the data is growing at a very fast pace. So the customers who would like to manage the data at on-prem side, today or tomorrow will run into an issue, or like they will end up into a cycle of provisioning or procuring their storage infrastructures on a regular basis. But that is not exactly what they would like to do. What they want to do is like, okay, somebody should be there to take care of their data growth automatically, and they just need to focus and derive the insights what the data is having and innovate on top of it to grow into new market segments, scale up new revenue streams. In this section, if you see over a period of time, the yellow sections is reducing and the green section is increasing over a period of time. That means the amount of money they're spending on managing an overall data and in terms of modernizing their data lakes or data warehousing, right? It is being reducing over a period of time, but the value is significantly increasing over a period of time. So that's what we are able to offer you. If I have to call out few of the top features and functionalities of our platform, which can really help you save significant amount of cost. First and foremost, GCP custom machine types. We're the only cloud provider who are able to offer you to customize your machine requirements based on the workloads on top of the t-shirt sizing, which is being offered by anybody else also into the market. It will not only going to reduce your overall consumption into Google Cloud, and only matches to the workload requirement, but also going to save significant amount of cost into your licensing requirements because most of the time licenses are tied back to course. So if you are able to optimize your machine types of CPU and RAM, you'll be able to significantly save some cost around that. The preemptible VM, which are up to 80% lower price than a normal instance, which are perfect for any kind of a distributed computing workload or batch processing. Similarly, the right size recommendations, I think I've already called it out. And also the automatic sustained and committed use discounts, which will be consumption-based discounts, you will be getting it. Now, how you should look at all these things. So you can imagine on the left-hand side, if this is a 3-year cost for a 12 terabyte kind of a VM, which will be available to you in a typical data center of any customer. On the right-hand side, you can see in Google Cloud, the way this entire tenure is being sized and priced, that means less amount of capacity is required in the first year, and then the capacity grows, and then third year, you will be getting the full capacity. Based on that, you will be getting a total of a green block 3-year saving because from day one itself, you're not provisioning the capacity at the full speed, what you really don't need it in that environment. It's not only the compute side, we have our innovations to save a significant amount of cost and offer you value in our data warehousing and data analytics platform as well. As compared to the traditional platforms where all the data skilled users get a time to spend only partially to spend on analysis and deriving insights of the data, what we are able to offer you a petabyte scale, completely serverless data warehouse solution. We call it BigQuery, where those users can 100% devote your time to analysis and insights. And that is exactly the value what we are able to offer you. Now, our point of view is very, very simple. We want you to have a big vision so that you'll be able to remember that we are taking away all your administrative overhead with all the automations, what we are able to offer you at our layers of stack. And also, we will be able to meet and support you wherever you would like. So you first migrate and then modernize based on the pace or the workload of your choice so that we'll be able to guide you right way, the way we ourselves are driving our workloads into our data centers. So that's pretty much from my side. Over to you, Martin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dubey. It was truly an informative session. Now let's move to the most awaited knowledge sharing and interactive session, the panel discussion. This discussion is around the topic exploring cost-effective strategies for data center modernization. We have some very interesting names today with us. First up, the session will be moderated by Mr. Rahul Datta, Director, PwC India. Thank you, Mr. Datta, for joining us. Let me also introduce to you all our esteemed speakers joining us in the panel today. Mr. Tarun Vij is President, Chief Information Officer at Gujarat Tea Processors and Packers Limited. Mr. Sanjay Lohade is Global Head IT for Quick Heal Technologies Private Limited. Mr. Sandeep Agrawal is Head IT and Information Security at NeilSoft. Mr. Tanmay Prasad is Head IT at Unitech Limited. I welcome you all once again, and if you haven't yet, may I request you to please now turn on your videos. Without further ado then, let's begin the panel discussion. Over to you, Mr. Datta. Have a good one.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks, Mr. Martin, to conduct these sessions in a so elegant way. So, our discussion for today is about data center modernization and overall cost optimization towards it. Now, when we hear about data center, it sparks those days. We all come through the generation of rack spaces, big servers, cabling, tall ceilings, chilling floors, security, biometrics, physical security, attendance, and those were great sites. But business have changed across industries, across domain, hospitality, FMCG, manufacturing, banking, payments, NBFCs, all across. The priorities have changed. The competition has become stiffer. The need, the growth, the projections, the business priorities always has demanded something more than a well-placed data center. What are those? Why those are coming into the play? Because the number of transactions, the mode of transactions, the accumulation of people doing digital beat of their life and moving themselves from physical to digital. Altogether, what it has accounted for towards the CTOs, CEOs, CXOs of the organizations is to plan for growth, plan for priorities, that how to manage my top line. I need to capture new geographies. I need to create new revenue channels. I need to deploy 10 more applications. I need to grab additional markets. So I am growing. I need to capture spaces. I need more compute. Other front, when this increase is happening, I have to also work on my bottom line. I need to reduce cost of operations. I need to reduce cost of delivery. I need to reduce cost of management. Blending both the world, what are the solutions? What are the aspects? How we can do that? What are the experiences? What we have seen so far? So to share that with us, some of the eminent people across the industries are available with us today. And we will invite in this panel discussion, Mr. Tarun Vij, Mr. Tanmay Prasad, and Mr. Sanjay Lohade, to have a very candid set of discussions across all those priorities towards cost optimizations and data center modernization. To start with, may I request Mr. Tarun Vij to provide us insights about what are those major expectations from CTOs, IT heads in the current business landscape of their respective industries in terms of modernizing their IT infrastructure overall.
So,
over to you, Mr. Tarun.
good afternoon all. So thank you very much for inviting us for this session, first of all. And but to be honest, right, so currently actually scenario has totally changed after this COVID, right? So this pre-COVID situations actually means we were running behind our basically managements to digitize a lot of areas because they were not really aware of the potential of this digitization and technology, to be honest. And I believe that means they have virtually, and I should say, they have practically observed the contribution of technology in the current environment, right? Wherein whatever role this technology has played, right? But however, the expectations are always there, basically, wherein basically which is already communicated in the presentation which was shared earlier, right, by Mr. Augustus also, that we need to have solution which are basically very, very scalables, right? And the thing is that currently, because of very, very dynamic environment, what happens that people demand basically application support from us, right? Suppose some new technology needs to be deployed, they want us to deploy those technologies in a very short time frame, right? And currently, in case you have your old data center kind of situation wherein you need to basically initially arrange for some infrastructure, deploy the application, and then test it. Even for testing purpose, you don't have environment available. That is where basically cloud plays a very major role there, right? Where you can quickly deploy and provide environment to your business, to your technology teams, so that they can deploy their application, give it to the user for testing, and then once it is successful, you can quickly deploy it and plan that what is the cost effective way of deploying this solution, and then you can deploy it within your environment. I hope I answered the question, right?
Very true, Mr. Tarun. So it's indeed that post-COVID, expectations and priorities have evolved, have changed. Speed, go-to-market, management, maintenance, all become the priorities towards it. So may I now request Mr. Sanjay to provide his insights about these particular point on expectations of modernizing IT infrastructure overall.
So modernizing IT infrastructure, it's kind of, you can say, a demand which is coming from your customers, which is coming for IT from internal customers. Like for my company, Quickhill, we are the antivirus and security software development. We have our own development engineering team. So their requirements, their challenges are that everything should be faster. Okay, as of yesterday, you can say. That's what we many times call it. And definitely when you need a deployment to be done at faster speed, and the environment needs to be provisioned ASAP. So there are two things. One is you put a lot of money in your current data center and then bring that environment, build that environment. Or second, you have something which is readily available with multiple solutions. When I am saying deployment, I am not just talking about the compute, storage, but when you go to cloud, you have so many solutions which are already ready to deploy, which you can take advantage of and use it as it is scalable. My development environment, the way now I am using cloud is that, okay, I am deploying the environment infrastructure morning, it is available till 10 p.m. evening, I am destroying it. My data is safe. Next day I'm building it back because I have done that automation. So cloud actually enables you such type of tricks, you can say, to save the cost, give the required environment to your internal customers or your technical team, and still manage it. That is one thing. Whatever touched by Tarun on the post-COVID. So post-COVID, a lot of things has changed. I came from MNC background to Indian company. MNC have a lot of investment and they are ready to work from home from many years. But that was not true for our Indian companies. So a lot of new technology, new investment has gone into it, new thought process has gone into it, because now 1,000 plus my people are working seamlessly from 18 months from home. In fact, we have changed our strategy. We were hiring everything now in Pune. We are hiring everywhere. So people are mobile, they are working from anywhere, we are hiring anywhere. So you need required collaboration tools, required technologies, whether it is virtual PCs or VDI solution. So that you cannot build overnight. And cloud has actually helped many companies to kind of address this need. So overall, the transformation which is happening and the demand at which the organizations want to address customer need is actually cloud helping. Another area where it is helping is going across geography. we are now planning to go across geography with our now new set of products. Like we are building our zero trust solution, which will be releasing in December. Data privacy solution, which will take care of all the data privacy related products, whether it is GDPR to any other. Okay. Those we need to deploy in respective region because of their regulations, their laws. Cloud solutions will help us to deploy those. We do not need to bother about it. So all these are the challenges and the demands which are coming from internal business to every IT company, not only to us, but it is true for every IT company, and cloud is really playing a role there.
Very true, Mr. Sanjay. So actually, this transformation in the entire IT world bring in the demand, priority, and needs of the cloud. Now, may I request Mr. Tanmay to provide us insight about what are the drawbacks of the legacy systems and how can data center modernization resolve those challenges?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Good afternoon, everyone. So if you look on the legacy systems, most of these systems have been designed and developed maybe 10, 15 years back. And at that point of time, nobody thought of the technology advancement which is going to happen in next 10, 15 years. And if we look what has happened because of those legacy system, or if we call it more specific to the legacy data centers, the maintenance cost has gone very high. The downtimes have increased because it is keep on breaking down. And the security aspect has also got reduced because you have old technologies, you cannot deploy new technologies, and you have lack of, say, consolidation and virtualization aspects which you can build into your legacy system. Many places, if it is more than 10, 15 years back, people were not really thinking of disaster recovery, having the DR side or thinking about the business continuity, which now in last 2 years, we know how we have worked. So all those things has really made the legacy system to be modernized on an immediate basis, and which can bring reliability, efficiency, scalability, and reduce the operational cost, because that is something which is very much required. So cloud is going to play a very important role, whether you have an on-premise cloud kind of a thing, or you have a hybrid kind of a strategy, or completely going on a public cloud. So cloud and virtualizing your data center and then building up cloud on top of that is very important for you to scale up to the current needs of your business.
Very true, Mr. Tanmay. Cloud is the need of the hour. So now may I request Mr. Tarun again to provide us some insight about what are the key digital infrastructure priorities that any organization across industries must address in today's time?
See, actually, to be honest, the key business priorities, what I believe from the digitization point of view is like, first of all, we need to understand what is the expectation of the organization, because expectation varies from one organization to another organization. So road mapping your requirements is very much important. And because currently what is happening, earlier actually we were educating people about digitization. Now people are educating us on the digitization piece, right? So it means people rather from the business side, they're coming back to us, right? We need this, we need that. So, and they're coming with their endless requirements. And currently as a technology leader, we are facing a lot of challenges rather to basically channelize those requirements so that we can provide the right solution to them. Because studying a solution also takes some time at times. But however, my suggestion will be that based on this thing, right? So first of all, we need to do the road mapping. And the thing is that then we need to understand that what I'm going to do with the data, whatever data I'm collecting, right? Because ultimately with digitization, you are going to collect data, multiple, I should say data, right? So as in case your cloud environment, which is means AI ML ready and which can provide you certain insights of your data also, that is basically a kind of dream scenario, I should say, and that is kind of scenario which everyone will prefer, though But however, my suggestion will be that we should understand the technological challenges our organization is facing and how we can enable. And I'm sorry, but I cannot give any very specific digitization initiative for anyone, right? But however, we need to find our own challenges within our own industry and then provide a solution according to that. So, and moreover, actually, right, as I said, that cloud is the essential now. Cloud journey cannot be something which is kind of optional, because in case means there are a lot of SaaS solutions which are available, right? Wherein means you can use solution as service and you can quickly enable your business, right? So we should find the right solution, right, on the right platform for our users so that we can quickly enable them. Right now, currently, we don't have that much of time, that we do a lot of R&D, we do a lot of testing actually, right, and then provide a solution, because trend is changing. So we have to react fast based, and we have to choose the technologies for our industry, which we can quickly enable for them, right?
Very true. We have to react first. There is no other option altogether. So now may I request Mr. Sanjay to enlighten us about what are the points to be considered while embarking upon the journey of data center modernization?
Yeah, this is interesting question, and many times people forget a lot of back-end things while we are discussing about data center modernization. Data center itself means that we are talking about a physical thing and to modernize it. So while we focus on compute, storage, and how it can be agile and how it can be fastly deployed, but if you have your own data center, you need to look into that physical data center itself, UPS, redundant power supply, investment into that, your racking, cabling, your humidity, temperature control. And a lot of times you need to segmentize it in such a way that you need to have a backup VLAN, you need to have disaster recovery considered. So all this actually calls out for a lot of investment apart from actual compute, storage, network gears, what we are talking about. And if I'm having a data center or my access points in such a way that if they are not updated, even if I am putting something in cloud, the access may get broken. So we need to invest, we need to ensure that if that investment is already done, how we are actually kind of making it better step by step. Okay. And then look for the strategy for your data center modernization should be meeting your cloud native development architecture, what you are now looking into, keeping in mind your next 5-10 years strategy. So you cannot 100% be on the cloud. If it is there, that is well and good, but many companies have already invested. So you need to take an approach where your data center also should be cloud native. That is what we are doing in our environment. While we are overhauling our data center, putting up new network switches, gear, storage, we are actually building a private cloud setup also, because we are heavily into public cloud for a lot of our development and deployment. So that is what we need to kind of have a journey. If 100% on the cloud, which is not possible for many legacy companies, then how you can bring your infrastructure, your environment at par with cloud, you need to look into, and then move your legacy environment into maybe your new age microservices based containerized solution, because that is needed. You need to have a solution where people are expecting zero downtime, zero deployment time, not only from customer perspective, but when R&D teams comes in and says, okay, now I have a release to go in production, I cannot say, okay, I will bring down the production on Sunday and let us put the release, because now your customer are accessing your data center, your data 24/7. So that all you need to keep in mind while you are planning modernizing your data center. You need to definitely look your own data center and integrate it with in a hybrid cloud model with the other cloud service provider to take best of both the worlds. That's what I want to say.
Very true, very true. So zero downtime, zero deployment time. That is the keyword. So if I request Mr. Tanmay to provide his insight about the points across consideration towards the data center modernization journey.
See, when we talk about data center and your on-premise data center, it is basically the brick and mortar, as rightly said by the previous speaker, that you have to modernize what all your cooling requirements, your electricity requirements, even your racks. If you look on the old legacy data center, the racks used to be 3 and 5 kilowatt racks, which were low density servers we were using. Now we have high density servers which draws a lot of power, and you need that kind of a cooling. So modernizing means you have to look from all aspects on what kind of servers you are using, what kind of security devices you are putting on, and to modernize your cooling and your electricity requirements. That is very, very important. Now, on the data center efficiency part, which is a very important thing, because finally you have to reduce your cost. The power usage effectiveness, the PU value, whatever you design your data center should be very low. It should be something around 1.2, 1.3 kind of a thing. Normally, if you look on the old data center, it used to go as high as 2, 3, which is means how much compute, how much power your actual IT infrastructure is using. The other infrastructure which is put in the data center is using that. So that is also you have to take you consider on that. This is what on the infrastructure level you have to really think on. When you come on the compute storage, you need to have a hyper converged infrastructure, and your data center, as rightly said by the previous speaker, has to be cloud ready, because cloud has to be in your core strategy, and it should again have the APIs or kind of thing which it can interact with the other public clouds, because in your strategy you cannot put all the load on your native data center. You have to scale up and you have to scale out also. So that kind of a thing you have to keep in mind when you are designing your data center, or you are modernizing your data center.
Very true, very true. So, and for hyperconverged architecture is the future. Absolutely. Yeah. So now, may I request Mr. Tarun to enlighten us about what are the features that you should look for while choosing the right cloud vendor? Any guidance towards it?
Yeah, actually, the thing is that though means the expectations everyone has already mentioned, right, in whatever communication has happened, right? So everyone wants this scalable, I should say, infrastructure, means whatever, and the depth. So we want actually, right, both horizontal and vertical depth, right? So when I say means vertical means that it should be scalable to handle my existing application and workloads. And second thing is that vertically, I should say that because currently new open sources which are coming up, right, and we need to see that means horizontally they should be able to cover the multiple operating system databases whichever are available in the market currently. Because otherwise, what happens that in case you're not able to host certain your workloads, basically just because the technology is not supported on the data center, then it becomes challenging for a leader to find out an alternate for that, right? That is where basically we need to find out both horizontal and vertical depth actually, right, for any data center. And it should be cost effective. At end of the day, right, we have to see that how cost effective it is. And I believe, as mentioned by Tanmay, right, there are a lot of open APIs which are available, right, and you should be able to quickly plug in those APIs with your basically existing workload. Suppose you are working in a hybrid model where you have your own, because currently what happens that you organizations, like in our case, we have already usually invested on our on-premise infrastructure in past, right? And tomorrow means I cannot say my management, right, I want to move my complete data center on cloud now, right? And then the question will come that what I will do with this existing infrastructure we have in place, right? That is where we have to be. It's a kind of journey, I should say, that we have to slowly and gradually move our workloads, and we have to clearly understand that which is the partner with whom we are going to partner with, right, in the cloud journey, right? They should have that sort of support available to us, right? And they should be able to manage those things also. Manageability, because once you implement something, then manageability becomes very challenging for the organization, as mentioned by Sanjay also, right? You need to provide means zero downtime for your applications, and you need to provide basically highly optimized and scalable environment. And that is what I believe we should focus on when it comes to data center, using the right data center.
Yeah, absolutely true. Highly optimized data center and partner ecosystem to help to build that would be the priority. Now, may I request Mr. Sanjay again to provide some insight about, as a very senior executive, what kind of role you see for renowned cloud platforms like GCP and all in effective infrastructure modernization to play?
Yeah. So, as I told you, cloud is the way forward. Whether you develop your private cloud, and even if you develop a private cloud, you cannot build all the required solutioning in it. It is going to be very cost kind of proportion. So what you need to do, you need to find out a right cloud partner who will help you to actually meet that your cloud journey. What is now needed and demand is that, as I told you, everything is as of yesterday. So IT cannot keep on actually kind of doing the reactive work. What is now expected from IT is that how things can be done self-service. Okay, give me capability. Budget is there, you know how it needs to be tagged, how budgets can be tracked, resources can be tagged. Okay, give the developers capability to provision their environment, do the development, okay, destroy it in night, rebuild it there. So that self-service capability, it is not easy to develop in-house for each and every product. Whereas partners like Google or other service providers have that built-in feature. So self-service makes things much more easier, and that is a must for nowadays. So you need to look for all these things. You have many solutions which are inbuilt. What you are talked about BigQuery. There's a lot of now data lake or data warehouse is hosted. Our data warehouse, data lake is in cloud. Okay, your workloads, business data workloads are in cloud. So that modernization you need to look into. While, and then another thing is security, compliance, manageability, operability. These are things which you need to look into. As you bring in new solutions, you do not have people. Struggle with all IT management is that how to kind of retain the current talent and onboard the new talent. Let me tell you, like now I have my development sprint integrated with my DevSecOps sprint. Okay. Now that was not an easy journey. It took a lot of time because you don't get people. There are no enough people in the market. So that also you need to look into and then tie it and plan it in such a way that you are using the best ready-made available solutions which are cost effective, how you can use them cost effective way and integrate it with your data center modernization, your IT journey. And that's where cloud service provider definitely plays a big role.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. So that provides a lot of insight. So may I request Mr. Tanmay now to talk about his expectations and priorities from these renowned cloud services vendor to cooperate in the data center modernization journey.
See, no model we say can fit all because it depends upon the organization and the requirements of the organization. So as an organization, the first thing you have to look is what really is your cloud strategy. So that is the first thing when you, even if before you are deciding to modernize your in-house data center, cloud strategy is the thing which you have to decide whether you want to have a complete private cloud, you want to go completely on a public cloud, or you want a virtual private cloud, not really going on an on-premise thing. Like in Unitech, we are now thinking of putting all the developed applications on public cloud itself, and not really going and modernizing or increasing the capacity of our internal data center. Only some legacy application which is running will keep on running on this infrastructure. So the key thing, if you look on today's requirement, is that you have to decide on your cloud strategy, and then you have to look for your right cloud partner which can fit in into your requirement. It is not that Google might fit in, or Amazon might fit in, or anyone else might fit in. So it depends upon what kind of services also you are looking from the public cloud, because rightly said by Sanjay, it's all that you cannot build in your data center. So many services, like if you are requiring some AI, ML related services, data analytics related services, or if you have a big data kind of a requirement, so that kind of storage you cannot build in-house. So all these things you have to get from your public cloud service provider, like Google Cloud or something like that. So it is very important that you decide on your cloud strategy first, and then look for a appropriate cloud service provider.
Very true, Mr. Stommer, that a proper cloud strategy actually drives the modernization, the overall selections of cloud partners and vendors. So now, may I request Mr. Tarun to summarize overall his thought process about the topic today?
Sorry, Rahul, can you come again? This is to me?
Yeah. So, yeah. Am I audible, Mr. Tarun, to you?
Yes. Can you come again?
So, may I request to you that if you can summarize your overall thought process on these overall data center modernization, cloud adoption journey, and your views, summarized views towards it.
Yeah, see, the cloud, moving to cloud is a journey, right? So as we need to understand, right, the challenges, whatever challenges are currently in our organization. And the thing is that we need to understand how much scalability is expected from our systems. And one thing actually, right, I have also seen at times that when we go to any vendor actually, right, to host some infrastructure on cloud, and we ask basically not from the hosting partner, but from the application provider, we ask them to provide certain specs to us so that we can ask from the cloud service provider to host certain environment, basically certain application on that. So what they do, basically, they give us, I need 4 cores and 32 GB and maybe this much of data and 5 instances, 6 instances, something like that, right? But however, I believe we need to clearly understand what is my current requirement. At times, they give you specification based on on-premise databases, and we take those configuration and ask our cloud service provider to provide us the same this thing right to us, which is not correct. So my understanding is that we should clearly understand, get into the requirement, understand that what are the time frames basically when we are going to scale up the usability of the application, and how we are going to enable it for our organization, and then only we can decide the right workload for the certain this thing, right? Security is the another aspect actually, right, which Sanjay touched upon, and I believe this is very critical because of the thought process we already have. Like, organizations feel comfortable if data is within my premises, then it is more safe. But however, they don't understand at times that we have very limited understanding and capabilities on security, right? So the cloud team means they have got better understanding on the security, and they can manage this business very well. And we should focus more on our basically functional side of the business rather than handling the overall infrastructure piece for us. So this is what my suggestion is to everyone, that we should understand, right? And we should bring a kind of thought process within our management also and the people around us, that how cloud is going to enable us not only in most secure manner or in more scalable manner, but cost effective also. So it's an overall package, right? And which we should plan it in such a way so that we can, on the one hand, we can bring a kind of I should say scalability, and bring the operation cost to, I believe, a moderate level, so that there is no extra burden on the business also. And we should be able to provide basically 24/7 access to our users, right, from wherever they want, rather than being dependent on our on-premise team members to be available in case of any issues happens with the any of the servers or something, right?
Very true. So now, may I request Mr. Sanjay to summarize his overall viewpoint? Mr. Sanjay, you are on mute. Sorry.
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry. As rightly kind of pointed by Tarun, IT is not expected nowadays just to give the infrastructure and kind of improve the operational efficiencies. We are now kind of integrated with business outcome. You should know your business. You are kind of tied back to your bottom lines, revenues. So keeping that in mind, you need to have a balanced approach how you can use your current setup in your data center, how you can modernize it, and how you can actually take right partner help to move the things in cloud and use best of both the worlds. Okay, some solutions still may, because your legacy is there, you have done the investment, it doesn't make sense to refactor it and move to cloud because it will take a lot of money. But whatever is new coming in, like in our environment, all new development, new products, new solutions, all are happening in cloud and they are deployed in cloud. So look into cost effective way, how we can scale, how we can reach to more geographies, more people across the globe and meet their regulatory requirement also. This is very important aspect which many times we forget. If you are working India specific zone, all of a sudden if you want to move and release a product which is global in nature, you need to look into each country regions laws as well. So that is where the cloud helps. So my take is that yes, cloudify your business, take advantage of solutions which are available, and you can build your own solutions also, but it has to be cloud ready.
Very true, Sanjay. It has to be cloud ready. So now may I request Mr. Tanmay to provide us his overall viewpoint and summarize the entire topic for us.
Cloud is need of the hour because that is how your business needs it. As rightly said by Mr. Sanjay also, that the IT has moved. It is not only providing the VMs or servers. You need to understand the business also, what business needs. And accordingly, you have to define, again, as earlier also I said, your strategy on what you have to put it on premise and what you have to take it onto the public cloud. So hybrid kind of a scenario will coexist for some years now, and we have to slowly get adapt to the changing requirements of the business.
Very true, very true. So one thought process that is coming out very truly across the eco is that cloud is the need of the hour. And when we are sitting and we were discussing about it, it is a need of yesterday, being it manageability, being it scalability, being it performance, all are part of data center modernization by itself, being it on-premise, being it hybrid, being it all cloud. And with that aspirations that we have to make our businesses ready, we need to understand the priorities of the business and accordingly march our path towards the success of this modernization journey, of this cloud adoption journey. With that note, my sincere thanks to all of you, Mr. Tanmay, Mr. Sanjay, Mr. Tarun. And with that, let me over the mic to Mr. Martin. Martin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Datta, for so beautifully weaving together that panel discussion. We're now moving on to our Q&A section. We have a good number of questions I see from our audiences for the Q&A session. Having a problem of plenty is not a problem, they say. So if you've not yet shared your questions yet, please share them now in the Q&A section present at the bottom of your screens. I'm going to request Mr. Datta to moderate the Q&A session. Mr. Datta.
Sure, Mr. Martin. So we have got the questions with me available. So may I request Mr. Murli to provide his viewpoints on a particular question that has been raised is what strategies can be considered in moving to cloud by non-IT companies, example, manufacturing industries?
Got it. Hi. So my suggestion would be, with my base of experiences, I would say that anyone to start with to move their non-critical machines to the cloud. So this will give them a confidence to move even their upcoming production machines to the cloud. Number one. Number two, this also will make them evaluate how the cloud looks like, being this their first machine. So this is one way that they can explore cloud. That is one. Secondly, if they have any on-premises critical machine that has been running up, so I would say that to consider DR to be kept on the cloud. So this also certainly brings up the RTO and RPO, which will meet their compliance perspective. So these two way I would generally suggest my client, and we have seen this has been a success criteria among our clients.
Excellent. Sure. So we had one question with us about modernization. So we have addressed that. And with that, I think we are about to end our discussions of this panel discussions today. Over to you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Dapta, for duly helping and answering relevant questions raised by our attendees. Truly valuable takeaways from that session, especially the panel discussion. With this, we bring today's virtual conference to an end. Today's session wouldn't have been a success without the active participation of all our esteemed panelists and delegates. I would like to thank each one of you for taking your time out and being a part of this virtual conference today. A special thanks to Google Cloud and Quadra for their support to this initiative, without whom this conference wouldn't have been possible. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. It was great to be in your company this morning. Take care, everyone, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.